He's an MC, lyricist, songwriter, performer, rap artist, entrepreneur. We got Abdullah, man. How you feeling, bro?
Peace, peace. I'm good, man. What's going on, dog?
I can't complain, man. We're gonna jump right into it. So I see you got a new album out. New album coming out. It's called Race Theology. So what does that album, Race Theology, mean to you?
The name of his correction is called Race First Theology.
Okay, my bad. Okay.
Yeah, Race First Theology. And the album entitles basically everything that I stand for as an MC, being a brother that's race first, is always putting the best interests of Black people first and foremost. And the theology of it is just having a positive representation of our people to present to the masses worldwide. So that's the whole basis and thing behind the album. Just continuing to spread that positivity and enlightenment that I've always done throughout with my music throughout the years.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. I like that. So, how was the recording process and creative process for this album, Race First Theology?
Man, this was by far the toughest recording process I've done with every album. And I'm going to say that for two reasons. One, because this is my final album I'm putting out. So it's more of a thing of you want to make sure that this one is totally right so that when you put it out there, you going out with a bang. And then for two, the process of dealing with new artists out here, especially out here in Vegas that I just moved to about a couple of years ago. So getting to know new artists, getting to know the new surroundings, and having to go along with the process of different artists. Like with you and Stacks Pope back home, that's easy. We recorded in the past, so when I hit you up to do the summertime shot verse, you knocked it out in 2 days. So you knocked it out in 2 days. I called Stacks, he knocked it out in a day. So we're working with y'all back home. That's the easier process. Y'all. We've always been like this. With other artists out here in Vegas, you kind of got to work on their time, and then you have to make sure that they're able to get to the studio on time, and also have their verse is well prepared. There's one artist I work with. He had to end up coming back to the set studio twice to do his verse because the first time it sounded horrible. And so the difficulty with that itself, it was a lot of strain and a lot of pressure. But I'm definitely satisfied with the finished result because I went back to the studio at least 3 times to mix and master everything. This was by far my most expensive project because, like I said in the beginning, bro, I wanted to make sure that this album was right as far as its presentation.
Facts. That's dope. That's dope, man. I know it's coming out Monday, and it's fire. I bought the album. I got the album already. I bought it. I got the
Yeah.
CD. So, you said this is your last album. So why is this your last album, though? Like, what?
The reason why this is my last album is because it's just time for me to focus on other things rather than just putting out music. I'll never stop writing songs. That will always be a part of me. If I always had that itch to write something, I'm gonna write it right on the spot. But as far as creating albums, it's just the grind itself. It's a long grind, and it's taking its toll on me mentally and physically. And for me, this is just the perfect time for me to just fade into the background and also build a business out here in Vegas, like a building where I can hold open mics, build my own studio, and have a resource outlet for other artists to build and grow. So that's another reason why I'm stepping away from doing albums because I want to, help foster in the next generation of artists and help build them up. I think one of the main things that's missing in hip hop is what A&Rs used to do back in the day. They used to develop artists. We're not doing that anymore. And that's a big strain on the creativity as well as the production process of how artists elevate and evolve. And I think we got to get back more to that. So, like, for example, when I first met you, I liked the song you did. I hated the performance because I'm like, you got the potential, but you need somebody to step in and show you how to actually do it. And now look at you. You're killing it, bro. And that's just years and years and years of progress. So that's one aspect of what I can offer to other artists. And the only way I can do that is take a step back from the scene and help develop them in a way I know they could be successful.
Okay. So you've been doing it for a while. You basically like a vet. You're very polished. You feel me? So, what do you like better, the Chicago music scene or the Vegas music scene? If you have to choose, or do you like them both?
Chicago,
Chicago.
Chicago, because of the fact that Chicago has that old, because you could still grow as an artist of my caliber, your caliber, while at the same time it's a big city to where you could still travel and venture out everywhere. Vegas, it has less of a scene here. So it's a little bit more difficult to get acknowledged. However, I will say this, if you come out here and you already have developed yourself from where you was, it's going to be way much easier. For me, it wasn't that difficult for me to shine out here because of the simple fact that I had already made my mark in Chicago. I was already, known on the underground scene, well known at that. So coming out here to Vegas, I just took the massive experience I had back in Chicago, brought it out here, and just shine like that. But Chicago, that scene itself, being that it's a large city, being that it has a great musical tradition and culture, it's way more diverse and allows you to continue to grow effortlessly as opposed to just being out in a much smaller city.
For sure. I feel that. That definitely makes sense. I definitely feel where you're coming from. And I see you just dropped the video to your single "Rise Up." So
Yeah.
what inspired the single "Rise Up" and what's the backstory behind that single that you put out?
Okay, Rise Up's the beginning track of the album. That sets the tone for the entire album. And for me, being that it's race first theology, it was important for me to have a sample of Marcus Garvey in the beginning of the song. Because me being a member of the UNIA, our motto and theme is race first. So what better way to introduce the album to the general public than to have our founding leader of the UNIA, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, to give us a sample of his wisdom of presenting Africa for the Africans that gives us that motivation to rise up as a race of people. So that was the whole thing behind the song itself. Now the video, I just happened to come across a park out here in Vegas that had these different artistic words of expression that I think a lot of young people came up with out here. And then we went to this other location where they had this mural of all the some of the most famous black people out here in Vegas, as well as some of the most famous black people throughout our history. And OD, my brother OD, he shot and filmed that video for me. So we just happened to just take those two elements and combine it to the video that shows a message of us as black people uplifting ourselves against any adversity.
For sure, I feel that. I definitely feel that. I definitely feel where you're coming from on that. So, you talking about the album "Race First Theology"? What's your favorite songs off the album? Like your top 3 favorite songs, if you have to choose. Like
my top 3. That's a tough one, bro. That's a tough one. The top 3 I'm banging right now. "Rise Up" is one of them. Can I give you a top 5?
Yeah, top 5. Do top 5. That's cool. Yeah.
Can I give you a top 5? Okay. "Rise Up," "Summertime Shy," "Prosperity." Cancel. I like cancel culture. And my favorite one is "Let It Out, Let It Go."
Yeah, I like that too, man. That's a dope track. Sure.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's by far my favorite track on the album. And based off of me performing that so far, that's an anthem. That song right there is an anthem.
For sure, I feel that. Why is that your favorite song on the album out of all the songs? Explain what.
The reason why my favorite song for me personally, as a Army veteran who's diagnosed with PTSD, it is definitely valuable and important for me to express the depression I've gone through, the anxiety I've developed over the years, and how paramount it was for me to understand that even though I'm diagnosed with these things, even though these things happened to me while I was in combat, it doesn't define my entire life's existence. So let it out, but let it go. Let go of the pain, let go of the bitterness, let go of the anger. You know, you acknowledge that it's there. You understand that you experienced these things, but you don't have to hold on to it forever. So for me, it's definitely a cry to, not a cry, but it's definitely a way to let people know, hey, look, we all go through something, we all go through these things, but we don't have to hold on to them forever. We can let it out. We could express it by venting or whatever, but we let it go because we're trying to continue to move on and live our life the best way we know how. So that's, for me, is the best part of that for me is the most valuable part of that song. I mean, just tackling mental health, period, and just letting people know, hey, look, man, it's a better way.
For sure. I definitely feel it. That's definitely real, man. That's definitely real, for sure. We definitely
Yeah,
need more. We definitely need more music and songs like that for mental health, especially like in the Black community as well. So I'm gonna get
it's
right.
crazy, bro. It's crazy you bring that up. Last night, literally, I had a young sister come. She had to be in her early 20s. She seen me perform that show at a competition about a couple months ago and said, man, it's crazy. Like, you know, she was like, some of the judges was hating, but I love that song because, like, I saw how you was trying to raise awareness off of it, and I just wanted to let you know that, OG. And I was just, you know, I was grateful for that.
Yeah, that's all that matters, man. I just feel like the real people gonna feel you, no matter what. The real
Yeah.
people always feel you. So what does hip hop mean to you? Like, and like, what does hip hop mean to you, in your opinion, though?
It's the life we live. It's the life we live. It's what is how we talk, how we express ourselves, how we dress, how we move, and we have to understand what hip hop really means. See, for me, hip hop goes way beyond music. Rap is only one aspect of music of hip hop in general, and that's the MC portion. You know, KRS-One uses the term hip hop an acronym: higher infinite power, healing oppressed peoples. So it's way bigger than what we think hip hop is in terms of music. You got DJing, which is, in my opinion, the important element of hip hop.
Right.
Without a DJ, you ain't get no party jumping. You're not playing no music. You're not having the B-boys and B-girls, which are the break dancers. That's the dancing element. So your
Yeah.
party ain't jumping from that. Without the DJ, that don't inspire the tag writers, graffiti artists. So that don't inspire them to come up with the things that they draw and express themselves. And then you got that fourth element, the MC, which is what me and you do.
Right.
So hip hop to me is just our life. It's the way we value and express ourselves. But we have to always remind ourselves, especially as MCs, of me and your caliber, Nate. We have to always put out to these, especially these younger artists, what hip hop truly means other than rapping. Because most people, they'll be like, hip hop, are you just rap? That's one portion of what the culture truly is. And you see how vibrant I am. I'm speaking to you just by you asking me that question. That's what hip hop means to me. That's my life.
For
Period.
sure. Definitely feel that, man. Yeah, hip hop changed my life for sure. I definitely can feel you on that. Definitely important. I know you. I see you rep K Town a lot, the West Side of Chicago.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
how has that made you the artist, man you are?
How does K Town make me the artist and the man? I'm gonna go off with what it's made has made me the man. It's my foundation of who I am. Period. I'm born
Okay.
and raised there. I was around a family environment, not just in the house. I'm talking about the whole neighborhood, bro. Like everybody treated each other like family. You know, if you got in trouble, your mama wasn't the only one whooping your ass. Everybody in the neighborhood, every grown up in the neighborhood could get at you if they could. But it taught me a very valuable lesson in how to not only just survive, but just have good morals and ethics. I tell people this all the time. The, the, the gangsters I grew up around, they encouraged me not to get in that life. They knew I was not that type of guy, but I'm from the block. I'm from the neighborhood. Excuse me. I'm from the block. I'm from the neighborhood. So they like, oh man, that's Ant right there, man. Nah, he good. He one of us. But at the same time, it was like, nah, man, we're not gonna bring him into that life because he'll A and B student to school and stuff like that. But while he in the neighborhood, he good. So that taught me early on in life, like I'm not gonna be as hard on those guys because I remember those guys just having some kind of morals to them that while the kids were out of school, they don't sell dope or none of that on the block. If grandma and the older ladies in the neighborhood needed help carrying their groceries or whatever, they were there. So that taught me the importance of helping others in need and hard work. So that's what K-Town meant for me as a man growing up. But far as the music, gave me that toughness, bro. Gave me that confidence. Gave me that ability that you be ready at a moment's notice and no slacking, none whatsoever. So that's what K-Town will forever mean to me.
For sure, for sure. I definitely feel that, man. Shout out to K-Town, shout out to Westside 290 for sure. So,
Yes, sir.
when did you fall in love with hip hop? And do you remember writing your first rhyme? Like, what year did you write your first rhyme?
Okay. The moment I started loving hip hop, I was 11 when Tupac's Dear Mama came out. When Tupac's Dear Mama came out, I was sold.
Okay.
It's just something about that song that just hit you to the heart because it's about because he poured his emotion out on expressing his love and thankfulness to his mom. I felt that because I feel the same way about my mom.
Thanks.
But I wrote my first rhyme at 14. I was on my way to visit my cousin in Columbus, Ohio. Rest of power to my cousin Nert. He was an adult, so he was driving me and my other brother to Columbus, Ohio. And back then we was big into No Limit back then. So this round 98, Master P and them killing the game in 98. Soulja Slim come on, from what I was told. I wrote to the beat, made the name of my song from what I was told. So I started rapping about being a gangster on the block and shit like that. My older cousin B-Side, shout out to B-Side, that's my mentor. He heard that rhyme and he almost wanted to whoop my ass, man. It was like, fool, you ain't no damn gangster. You ain't no gangster. You better rap about getting A's and B's in school. That ain't you.
Right.
So the next rhyme I wrote about this reading books and what books I read in school and stuff. And just that rhyme alone. And I think what changed me into really being what I am today is when I listened to Common's Light Water for Chocolate in 2000. I had to be 15 going on 16 at the time. And I actually met Common that day too, because he came to George's Music Room on the west side on near Roosevelt and Pulaski.
That's dope, man.
And yeah, and it was just him and his manager. I thought that was dope. I'm like, man, a rapper coming in a music store by itself, just only him and his manager. He signed an autograph for me and everything, and I bought the album that day. And just by listening to that album, it made me just want to just rap strictly positive. And I've been like that ever since.
Thanks. Yeah, that's dope, man. I like you one of the rappers I really remember because I like the message you put out. You got good substance.
Yeah.
So do you feel like all artists should make positive music? And how you feel about that? Like
no, I don't. I think it should be more of a balance. I don't think everybody has to be strictly positive because I think if everybody's too positive, eventually the music will stale because you'll get some gimmicky type of music in that regard. I think it should be more of a balance. Like even with my music, I don't always be, fight the power and all that. Like on the Race First Theology, I got songs like Misinformation. I'm going in full scale on how corrupt this society really is. I've had songs in the past like Shot Town Destruction that talks about the grimy aspects of life and things of that nature. But I think more of a balance in hip hop is definitely needed because of the fact that for every good side, there's a bad side. For every bad side, there's a good side. It's just like you being on the block. Okay, you making money. What about the other side? Tell us how you got to making money, right? Because they only glamorize the getting money, the whips, chains, and getting all that. Tell us the struggle in the grind to get there, but also tell us the downsides of it. Tell us how you evolve. Tell us when you got to the downside, how you evolved from that, and then you change your direction. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah,
That
it's good though. Balance.
it's more of that yin in the yang. So if you're doing both of those at the same time, hip hop will be in a much more refined space as opposed to just having it just strictly one way.
Okay, I feel that. So I got another question for you, man. What's
Yeah.
one bar you wrote that people slept on, in your opinion? Like a bar that you wrote that people slept on, that they didn't get, that went over their heads.
I can't really tell because it's so many. I can't really tell. I can't really tell one bar.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't really tell.
Okay. What part of your life shows up the most in your music? Pain, hustle, or celebration?
I would say pain and celebration.
Okay.
Like for example, pain, let it out, let it go. That's pain. Um, Celebration, rise up. So those are two examples of that, and those are two of my best songs on the Race First Theology album. But the pain because more people can relate to it. The celebration because people can see how you came out of the pain.
For sure. I definitely feel that, man. So, man, I know you got the album Race First Theology is dropping on Monday. It's coming up. I got a copy.
Nah, it's not coming out Monday. It's coming out October 16th.
Okay, October 16th. Okay.
And and the reason why it's coming out October 16th is because it's to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the Million Man March.
Okay, that's dope. I like that. For sure. That's gonna be fire though, man. Man, keep doing your thing, man. I'm glad you came on my show. I definitely appreciate the support, bro. And the album, the album fire. I already heard it. I got my copy already a minute ago. So
Yeah, yeah.
everybody else got to catch up, man. But
I got one question to ask you though, Nate.
Okay, what's the word, man? So
yeah, what made you want to do the interviews with the artists?
I want to shed light on. I want to give artists a platform to showcase their art and their talent. You feel me? I just feel like a lot of artists get up on them. So I'm making my own platform for the artists. That's why I call it More Than Rap TV. You feel me? So it's strictly about.
And I totally respect that for you. And I want you to continue to be encouraged too. We talk all the time
For sure.
behind the scenes. And I want you to keep going with what you do because from the time we first met, what was that, 2016 to now, you've constantly grown throughout the years. And that show you did in Philadelphia, from what I saw, it was probably one of the top 3 at that whole entire show, in my personal opinion. So I want to, just encourage you to keep going and evolving because it's hard, man, for us as Chicago artists to go to other places, man. When you go to these other places, I'm telling you, bro, now you've seen it that you've been in Philly and you've been in the past, you went to Omaha and stuff. So
yeah,
when you branch out and travel to other cities, man, and that's another reason why I say it's better in Chicago than Vegas for me because when you in Chicago, it's a lot of competition. Right. And it's a lot of hungry people out here, man. And unfortunately, the support isn't as strong as it should be. However, just by that toughness and that constant competition, when you go out to other cities and you dominate, it goes to show that you're already levels above people in most places. And that's why I want to encourage you to continue doing moving forward, man. Keep shining with your platform, but always stay sharp with that pen and put out that dope music because you got it, bro. Real talk.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, man, for sure. I definitely appreciate the words of encouragement, for sure.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on my platform, bro. I'm dropping this interview Monday, so it's gonna be out soon. So appreciate you, love.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, bro.
On love.